Hello, everybody. Welcome to Module 5. Now, this week, we're going to turn our attention to drama. And it should be no surprise to you, but whenever we look in a fresh direction, we really have to take a step back and talk about what was happening before. And, we've only just finished with modernism and poetry. And, a lot of what I wanted to talk about was to show how modernism changed currents for what was happening before. The same thing is true for drama. So if you'll forgive the quick tangent on this, let me point out one of the most famous, probably the most famous moment in American theater during the 19th century. That was in 1865 when President Lincoln was assassinated at Ford's Theater. Now, one of the remarks that's often added as an addendum to this is that the play he was attending, Our American Cousin by Tom Taylor, is just dreadful. And what I'll say to you without a great deal of reserve is that this is largely true of drama in the US across the board during this century. We can start with the fact that Our American Cousin is by an English playwright, and that was actually, again, very typical for productions here in the US. But it only gives so much relief because those by American writers were rarely better. You'll probably notice, if you think about classes that you've taken, that we have no heritage plays that we usually study from the time of Washington Irving, from the time of Poe, from the time of Hawthorne, or from the time of Twain. If we do study a play from the first three-quarters of the 19th century, it's usually because it's an oddity, like The Escape from 1858 by William Wells Brown. And 9 times out of 10, these oddities were never or rarely performed for contemporary audiences. So essentially, for the bulk of that century, melodrama ruled the stage with all that entailed. You'd have a stereotypical villain, with a big mustache that he'd twirl, and a tall, strong, handsome hero, and a beautiful young love interest for the hero. And it was all probably every bit as interesting as anything you might see today on an average night on network TV. However, like such TV shows, these plays were meant to be entertainment for the moment, not works of art or eternal cultural expression. So, late in the 19th century, something interesting did happen on the US stage. In Britain, in the 1870s, Gilbert and Sullivan were busy making a hit out of something that was termed light opera, which meant that it had music where the tunes were catchy, the stories were fun, and everything was sung so that you could understand what was being said. This idea caught like wildfire, and for the last few decades of the 19th century, musical theater became the mainstay of the stage in the US. Thus, in 1900, when Frank Baum published The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, it was only 2 years before that musical was right there on Broadway being produced as a smash hit, all right, with songs and glitz and everything, all right? So now, this might not seem like it connects all that well with what's coming in modernism, but I'd like to suggest to you that this trend really expanded the views of US audiences for what could be done on the stage. So when modernism does come in and usher in the first of the really great playwrights we've produced, like Eugene O'Neill, people were ready for more than just forgettable entertainment. And they actually came to expect something more than forgettable entertainment. They wanted to be wowed by the drama, by the fantasy, and often by just some plain strangeness. All right. Well, I'll post some notes on the context for US drama during the modernist period in the coming week. So this week we have 3 different assignments to accomplish. So it's going to be very busy. 2 of them are on the same thing. So it isn't 3 different things you've got to do. It's just you have to do a couple of things that are a little, that deal with one element. Now you're going to perform another peer review, and this time it's on the annotated bibliography. So hopefully you spent some of your time, productively in this past week getting this started. At the end of the week, you'll turn in your actual annotated bibliography to me. So you got to do a peer review on it where you post yours, you reply to others, give some people some help. That'll give you some time to get a little bit of revision in, and then you'll turn in the finished product to me at the end of the week on Sunday. And we also have a third analysis paper that's based on our reading for this week, the play Trifles by Susan Glass. All right, so that's it for me for today. If you need anything, if you have any questions about anything, by all means, as usual, just let me know and we'll take care of them.